You've landed your first photography gig. First of all, congratulations. If you're anything like I was, you're probably very excited, but you're also very nervous. Understandable. You want to get this right and prove yourself. In this video, I'll give you a few tips on how you can prepare for your shoot and things to do while you're on site. And if you feel like I left anything out and you have some advice you'd like to add, please do so in the comments. First things first, get a shot list. The client will usually send you one. If they don't, feel free to ask for one. If you do forget to do so, go on Google, type in wedding shot list, event shot list, real estate shot list, and you'll be able to find the information that you need, but also every single thing that you need, whether it's the major details or the small things and everything in between. A shot list will help you prepare and give you ideas for what it is you need to capture on your big day. Also, look up Google Images. Maybe you don't know how to compose an image or you're drawing a blank. Go to Google Images, go to Pinterest, and type in what it is you're photographing. And that way you can get ideas and inspiration on composition and what to capture that day. The night before, check your bag, do an inventory check. Make sure you have everything you need: the lens, the camera, your batteries, your memory cards. Make sure your batteries are charged. Make sure your memory cards are clean and formatted. If you have a backup camera or a backup battery, I understand that starting out, you probably can't afford it so much. But if you can, have backups because technology can and will fail on you. The day of, before you leave the house, do another inventory check. I know it sounds like you're being paranoid, but you can never be too paranoid when you're doing a photography job, especially one where you're getting paid. But it doesn't matter. You want to prove yourself and you want to look like a professional. Make sure you have everything you need. I have gone out the house and gone to a gig and realized I left my camera at home. How? I don't know, but it happens. I've gotten to a real estate job and I realized, oh, I have a 2470, which I probably could have shot the house with it, but it wouldn't have looked good. I needed my wide angle lens. And so I had to tuck my tail between my legs and go back to the owner and say, listen, I made a critical mistake here. I've got to go home. I'll be back in about, it took 20 minutes to get home. So I'll be back in 40 minutes, 45 minutes. The owner was cool about it. I felt like an idiot, but the owner was cool about it. And I would rather get it right than have to reshoot everything on a different day. And by the way, don't feel like an idiot. I did personally because I had been doing it for so long. You're human at the end of the day. But that's why I say do the inventory check and you can avoid the guilt associated with having to go back home because sometimes you're not going to have that luxury. Have backups for everything. Have a backup memory card. Have backup batteries. Make sure everything is fully charged the night before, as I said. You can't have too much equipment. Well, you can't have too much, but you can't have enough backup. The day of, I like to leave the house early. If it takes me, I don't know, 20 minutes to get to whatever gig I'm doing, I like to leave 15 or 30 minutes before that. Now, for a house, it's usually a little different, but I still like to give myself extra time because you just never know what you might run into. I live in an area surrounded by bridges and tunnels, and they back up at the drop of a dime without a moment's notice. And so, if I'm going to be sitting in traffic for 30 minutes or however long, I'd rather still be early enough to where I can eat that difference and not have to worry about being stuck in traffic and being late for my assignment. You get there too early, you sit in your car, get a cup of coffee. If it's a wedding or an event at a particular venue, see if you can do a little walk around, get a feel for the place, check out the lighting, test your camera out. That's probably the best thing you can do actually in advance because now you're not on site or at the time of the event trying to figure out what's what. You know, okay, I stand in this corner, I can set my shutter speed or my ISO to this. If I stand in this corner, I can set it to such and such. Do a walkthrough, get a feel for the place, and now you can make a mental note of the camera settings that you need depending on where you are. Because chances are, when you're shooting it in the actual shooting it live, you're not going to have the opportunity to go through your phone and say, "Oh, this was 1/60th of a second at such and such." Do a walkthrough if you can. Now, this probably goes without saying. Don't leave your gear unattended because, yeah, you might think everyone's on the honor system. Somebody sees that $1,000 camera or $1,000 lens or however much you paid for it lying around, and it's nothing for them to swoop in and pick it up. And now you have no gear. You've invested way too much money into your equipment to be careless and leave it around because you think people are going to be nice and honest. Don't take that risk. I don't care if you do have insurance. Take your gear with you no matter what. Be intentional with your shooting, but be flexible. You have a shot list now, so you know what you want to get. You know the must have shots you want to get, but still think outside of that list. If you see something in the moment that you think makes a great photo, take your camera out. Have your camera on you at all times. I said, don't leave anything unattended, but have your camera on you because you never know when you can get the perfect candid shot in the hallway or wherever. Get crowd shots, get reaction shots, get detail shots. You want to get everything on the list, everything in between, and everything outside of that list, if that makes sense. Now, you're into the shoot, you've taken a few pictures. Maybe you don't like the composition of one of the shots you took. Maybe you don't like the lighting, but you tell yourself, oh, I'll fix it in post. Post meaning post production, editing in Lightroom, Photoshop, Capture One. Here's the thing, yes, post options do exist, but just because they're there don't mean that you should fall back on them as a crutch. You becoming a professional photographer, learn your camera, learn the settings, and get it right while you're shooting it live. Still use post, obviously, for things like improving the lighting or removing something that's in the shot, changing the colors, things like that. But still, learn your camera. Don't fall back on post as your crutch if you can get it right live on site. Once everything is said and done, I like to upload everything as soon as possible. If I can't do it right then and there, as soon as I get home, I like to take my memory card, my card reader, and I upload everything to my computer. If not to Lightroom, then to Dropbox. I try to upload it to both because, as I said, you can't have enough backup. Now, with the events that I shoot, sometimes the client wants photos right then and there, just maybe 5 or 10 that they can upload to social media. So again, I break out the card reader, plug it into my MacBook, and upload a few pictures. And while I'm there, I might as well at least put them on Lightroom. If there's Wi-Fi in the venue, I'll also put them on Dropbox. I can't stress enough how important it is to have backup because you just never know what could happen. You always want to expect the worst and hope for the best. You don't want to be negative, but it's better to over prepare than not. And so, even after the event is done and you've looked over your photos, you've delivered everything, don't delete your files. I know they take up a lot of space, but keep a few photos from that first event because you continue on this journey a few years from now, you're going to look back on that and you're going to see where you started. Do a comparison of where you were now compared to the future. Always keep a few mementos for your own personal records. Finally, have fun with it. Yes, you're there on business. Yes, you need to maintain a level of professionalism, but still have fun with it. Don't overthink it. Don't try too hard to get the perfect shot. Yes, use your shot list, use the tips in this video and other videos, other photographers you talk to. And overall, just enjoy the moment because if you think too much, you stress out over it, you're going to end up trying too hard. You're going to overdo it and it might not turn out the way you want. Have fun. You got this. Good luck.